Today, we're signing the most notorious failed Wonderkids in FIFA 21 and making them join forces in career mode to watch how they'd perform and provide them with the opportunity to revive their careers in today's troubling times. We're including career mode fan favorites from years gone by, youngsters predicted for big things, and upcoming prodigies touted as the next Messi or the next Ronaldo that inevitably were unable to live up to the labelled expectations. We'll be analysing their performances, stats, and overall growth. Can they form a real team bond and manufacture a strong team spirit here at the homegrown talent factory of the world, Southampton? St. Mary's is the perfect ground for these failed Wonderkids to reunite and get that second chance they all deserve. The nostalgia in this team is second to none. We've had to search back into the archives of the likes of FIFA 12, FIFA 13 and 14, even some present day Wonderkids make the list, so let's dive straight in. Just a little disclaimer before we start, just because they've made it into the failed Wonderkids team doesn't mean that they're bad by any stretch. Let's keep it real, they have more footballing ability than I ever could dream of. It's just that they didn't transform into the elite ballers we all hoped for. One footballer back with a brand new look, overhauling the football news app we all know and love. Stay up to date with all the latest news, scores, and transfers the footballing world has to offer. You can even customize your viewing experience by following all the players and clubs your heart desires. If you're like me and support more than one team, this feature is a lifesaver. Make sure you download the app for free using my link in the description. Don't worry, it's available on Apple and Android, so you can receive your footy news fix on the go 24/7. Get downloading, people. One football, remember the name. Starting off, in between the sticks is going to be Jack Butler, and he was supposed to be the future #1 for England, still being loyal to the Potters and playing for Stoke. And we have Simone Scaffet, FIFA 12, FIFA 13, even FIFA 14 goalkeeper legend. You know it's not a Sir BCHD video without an Italian stallion in the mix, and the Italian shot stopper is the first of many. As we move over to the defense, we have Mauricio Lemos. If you remember him from back in the day 4 or 5 years ago, he was a go-to centre-back on FIFA 15 and 16 with mid-80s potential. His career never really got off the ground, just like Phil Jones, who has his testimonial coming up for Manchester United, played over 10 years at Old Trafford, came up from the academy, and he is still a meme to this day. I don't know how he still plays for the club. I kind of feel sorry for the lad, and it's our second Italian already. Matteo Di Sciglio burst onto the scene with AC Milan, now playing for Juventus, was one of the most oversigned defensive Wonderkids of all time, and his career really never reached the heights we all thought it would. Switching over to Eder Balanta, talking about oversigned Wonderkids, the Colombian centre-back who was everyone's go-to defender and had enormous potential in career mode in FIFA 15, FIFA 14, and just like Jairo Rijdeveld, another product from the Ajax Youth Academy, moved to Crystal Palace, and his career has never really been the same. Transitioning now to the midfield, we have Luciano Vieto. He sort of classifies as a striker as well. Again, another upcoming prospect from the FIFA 14 and 15 days. He was one of the best up-and-coming talents in South America, and the Argentine's career is now playing over in Saudi Arabia. He's trying to secure the bag over there, and he's now approaching his prime. It's really sad to see, just like Schalke's Max Meyer. They cared for him, nurtured him, and transformed him into the next big thing in German football. Let him go on a free to Crystal Palace, and that's where things never really took off. He was one of my favourite Wonderkids from FIFA 14. It's really disappointing to see his career end up like this. On the bright side, he's still only 24, unlike Bebe, who has now turned 30. All you Manchester United fans will know about this man. The Portuguese winger, captured by Sir Alex Ferguson, was probably one of his worst signings of all time. Enough about Bebe, as we have the FIFA 15 legend Oliver Torres, including some of my favourites in here because we just have to. The Spaniard was touted to be one of the next great midfielders, an attacking force, which unfortunately just leveled out into some mediocrity. As he's still 25, he does have time. I wish the best for the lad, honestly. Now playing out at Sevilla, we have Mohamed Dahoud, another brilliant prospect in German football that was supposed to take the footballing world by storm, and he failed at Borussia Dortmund. It's usually a place where talents can prosper and earn a move to a big club. Unfortunately, it never really panned out that way for Mohamed, as Richard Lee Bazua. Those who played FIFA 15 and 16 will know that Ajax had the next big thing in Dutch and European football on their hands. I don't know what happened to him. Injuries, leadership problems, mentality issues. It could have been a couple of combining factors, but Bazua just fell off. There was a period of time where I didn't even know he existed anymore. He's got a face scan nowadays, and I'm sure he's a lot of people's old favorite. We're going to be throwing it back to Adam Meyer, those who played FIFA 12, 13, and even 14. The Dutch making a strong presence in this squad. Fresh out of the PSV Youth Academy, he was going to be something else with high 80s potential. All the top dogs were trying to get their hands on this man, and his career literally fell off a cliff. If you weren't around to witness the hype that was Alen Halilovic, I honestly feel sorry for you. It was a time to be alive, a moment in history we'll never forget. The Croatian midfielder and Hashim Mastor, when they were added into FIFA 15, it was a cultural moment, a standstill that shook the career mode community. With high-end premium potentials, their careers never really took off. Literally the definition of just hype and hype only. Now, when it comes to Bojan Krkic, he was one of the youngest Champions League winners and was one of the unlucky ones that was touted the next Messi. Quote unquote, he was hyped up by the media and it eventually got to him, and where he wasn't able to perform at his normal best, couldn't handle the pressure and the expectation, and his career ultimately fell flat. The Spaniard now playing out in the MLS for Montreal Impact. At least he can say in his career he was able to do it on a cold, rainy night in Stoke. This one is a major throwback for me, and especially one of my favorites from over the years, the former Frenchman Yassine Benzia. The FIFA 13 days, man, it was a wild time, and the Frenchman back then was a striker, fresh out of Olympique Lyon's Youth Academy, and he was one of my legends in a career mode save. You know, one of those cult heroes for your team? Yeah, he was up there for me. The right mid spot, we've got Emre Mor. Back in FIFA 20, we attempted to revive his career. The Turkish prodigy teed up to be the nation's hero. We moved down to Federico Mattiello back in FIFA 16. He had a decent potential, the Italian. I remember signing him in my Frosinone save back then as Charlie Musonda. You Chelsea Youth Academy fanatics will know all about him, and he was part of that up-and-coming Belgian golden generation. A FIFA 18 god and a man that'll never be forgotten, Theo Walcott. We didn't really have to transfer him into this team. He was a Southampton OG, just scored against his old club Arsenal at the weekends. We all know his famous story, being called up to the World Cup squad at 16, being one of the paciest players on the planet. We're now about to cover one of the most overpowered wonder kids, and probably one of my top 5, maybe top 3 favorites of all time. It is Zakaria Bakali. The teenager at the time was a Belgian sensation arriving onto the scene. Played for PSV, Valencia, now at Anderlecht, where he's literally just rotting away on the bench. Still with time on his side at 24, has the seasons ahead of him to make something out of his career, and it's Marco Piazza. Instead of attitude problems like Bakali, his career's been in danger due to the fact that he just gets injuries upon injuries. Heck, he even has the injury prone to back it up on FIFA. Second Croatian on this list, the man that has been cursed by the injury table. Now to showcase our strike force, we have Danny Welbeck, a man that has made his return in the Premier League, was a free agent literally this summer, contracted by Brighton, the 29-year-old fresh out of Manchester United's Youth Academy over 10 years ago. It has been a minute. Danny Welbs has played for the likes of United, obviously, Arsenal, Watford, and now Brighton. He's approaching 30, but I still think he's got a few more goals left in him. We have Federico Makeda. The former Manchester United players are popping out of nowhere. They're cropping up all over the place, and he had that famous moment against Aston Villa, the goal that made Martin Tyler scream his lungs off. Ever since that season and breakout campaign, he's been a journeyman ever since. The Italian never really able to find his feet, and once and for all, finally, we finish it off with Andy Carroll. There's no denying that the talent was there. Liverpool paid so much money for the Newcastle prodigy. The England international was definitely one phased by injury after injury, hampered his career, and now there's your full look at the failed Wonderkids squad we've transferred here over at Southampton. Actually, I missed out on a whole bunch. We have Mario Götze and Oscar that I completely missed. Oscar's actually the captain. These two, not like they failed throughout their careers, it's just that they've been a bit of a letdown. Mario Götze was another free agent this summer, picked up by PSV, and Oscar is still out playing in China, securing the bag for his Brazilian family back home. We all know he had the talents to be one of the best players in Europe, and he probably could have done it in any top 5 league. Here's your overall look at the squad. I apologize that I left out a couple, but we finally covered them all. It's like comprehensive quality 28-man side that could compete. Let's cross our fingers and hope that they don't get relegated. This is how they're lining up in a 3-3-1-3 formation. I was really contemplating whether to go for the Christmas tree formation, but the lack of real left backs and right backs made us only have one choice. A strike partnership of Makeda and Danny Welbeck, a former Manchester United duo. We've got Oscar the captain starting in the middle, the main Brazilian playmaker to connect the midfield and the attack. We've got Bakali starting just for the culture. I know he's probably not going to get that much game time. Mario Götze and Oliver Torres make up the center mid spots. A formidable back three that looks like the Great Wall of China if it was built out of sand. To wrap it up, the man in between the sticks, Simeone Scuffet, the shot stopper that lives long in the memory of every career mode fan. fan. I'm pretty sure everyone watching this video has some sort of connection with these Wonder Kids. They've surely been signed at one stage of your FIFA lifespan and career. They've had their impact. They've had their time in the limelight. Now, it is time for their second chance and the rebirth. Whose careers are going to be revived? Who's going to continuously fail and just prove that they're never going to make it big? Let's start stimulating people with Sir BCHD's newly found Southampton going to be having the time of their lives. Let me know if I missed out on any failed Wonder Kids down in the description, or down in the comments below, I should say. Have your say. Should we do a part 2? And let me know. Also, make sure to mention your favorite failed Wonder Kid. Who did you really want to get behind and hope had an outstanding career and it never really pans out? Hope you guys are just triggering all that nostalgia right now and having a trip down memory lane. 17th is the spot where the failed Wonder Kids have finished in the Premier League, just above the relegation zone. 4 points above the drop as Leeds United, Sheffield United and West Brom can't beat it as they get relegated to the Championship. It was 30 points, 7 wins, 9 draws and 22 losses. Southampton had their backs up against the wall. The failed Wonder Kids had them guessing, but I guess they've secured their top flight status for Season 2. If they're in a Premier League relegation dogfight, I don't think there is going to be too much action in the domestic cups for the first season, as in the FA Cup round 4 saw them knocked out against Birmingham 1-0. In the Carabao Cup, it was a bit more of a respectable finish, but again in round 4, they get eliminated 3-2 to Arsenal in a 5-goal thriller. Now, getting into the real meat and bones of the team, I wasn't really expecting, well, I didn't really know who to expect to be the main performer, but in 2021, a failed Wonder Kids team has their saviour. It is a 30-year-old Danny Welbeck with 18 goals and 2 assists, a total of 20 goal contributions for the now veteran Englishman. He knows how to find the back of the net in the Premier League, just like Oscar, the Brazilian cam. Our captain with 11 goals and 6 assists, 17 goal contributions, Luciano Vieto. I don't know whether he's been playing at left midfield or coming off the bench for Welbeck, but the Argentine has bagged himself 9 goals and 2 assists. Another one of these failed Wonder Kids with an actual game face. We move on down to the Italian stallion Federico Macchietta with 6 goals and 2 assists. That was quite surprising, probably coming off the bench as a Bojan Kurcic. 12 appearances, somehow he secured 3 goals and 1 assist. Mohamed Zahoud with 2 goals and 1, and then the rest of the team just all have 1 goal to their name. It's quite spread out, not too many star performers rearing their heads. The goalkeeping situation looked a bit like this. Jack Butland secured the number 1 spot with 6 clean sheets and 31 appearances. Skiffett did play a part though, getting 12 appearances and 1 clean sheet. Development wise, not too much going on, maybe +1s, +2s here and there. Not enough action to report on, as the failed Wonder Kids are off to a slow but steady start. Financially, the most expensive failed Wonder Kid is Oscar, of course, because the quality is there. He's experienced now and he deserves that captain's armband. Second in place though is World Cup winner Mario Götze. Injuries and illness really stifled his career, but he's got the quality and the history to back it up. If things all click to place here, we could be forming a decent mid-table, challenging for Europe type side. I can't see this team winning the league or any silverware unless it's maybe a Carabao Cup or Community Shield. Now, we haven't even made it to the end of the season yet. We couldn't get through Season 1 as the Southampton board pulled the trigger. They've had enough of our failed Wonder Kids project and antics, and yeah, we've been sent down to the job centre. Sir BCHD in a bit of a pickle, but we have managed to secure the job again. Been offered another contract for Season 2, signing that renewal, and our objective is to finish in mid-table. Not to worry though, as the failed Wonder Kids are going to see out the season with their heads held high. Let's cross our fingers and hope that their sophomore effort in Season 2 is going to bear more fruits as we march on and continue to dare to dream with these failed Wonder Kids. Here's their second season's effort, and in 14th place they lie with 9 wins, 12 draws and 17 losses, racking up 39 points. It has been a season where they have failed to crack into the top 10, but not bad enough in order to be fighting for their lives in the relegation zone. A poor to mediocre season, but proving their Premier League pedigree, securing their top flight status, but this time with less of a relegation scare. In all fairness to them, round 4 saw them beaten out to Leicester 3-1 and eliminated from the FA Cup. They couldn't even stand to compete in the EFL Cup, as round 2 saw them knocked out 2-1 to West Ham. The failed Wonder Kid are really lacking in terms of results and claiming silverware, and the Premier League is starting to take a tough toll on them, but someone that is coping under the pressure and performing not to his usual standards, but to the best standards in this team. It is Oscar, the Brazilian, racking up 15 goals and 5 assists. He's the captain for a reason. 20 goal involvements, the contribution and the productivity has been second to none from a world-class baller, Federico Macchietta, the Italian, with 11 goals and 3 assists. He is up there again as Danny Welbeck, our top goal scorer from last season, 11 goals and 1 assist for the Englishman. Luciano Vieto with 9 goals and 5 assists, the Argentine playing at left and at striker, Oscar picked it up the second time around, just like Mario Götze with 5 goals and 3 assists. The German controlling things in the midfield, proving his world-class pedigree. Marco Piazza off the bench with 2 goals and 3 assists, as Oliver Torres claimed a goal and 2 assists as well. The goalkeeping spot beginning to be won back by Simeone Scuffet, scoring 6 clean sheets and managing 27 appearances. Meanwhile, it was a bit of a shift. I mean, maybe one had to go one game and then just swapped it around, as Jack Butland, the Englishman, gathered 2 clean sheets in 19 appearances. A quiet campaign, a mediocre one. I don't really know what to make of that. Oscar is pulling his weight and is carrying this team on his back. How long can he do it for? Can he keep it up? And who else is going to step up to the plate and really deliver success in Season 3? From Season 1's relegation scrap to mid-table challenging for the top 10, it is still an abysmal season in accordance to Southampton's expectations and what they were aiming for. The goals and objectives remained clear, just to stay afloat, and they have achieved that, but it's the bare minimum. Getting relegated is Sheffield United, Fulham, and West Brom. Moving up towards the top end of the table, the top 10 is looking a bit like that, an area which the failed Wonderkids have failed to break into for a second year running. In terms of the FA Cup, Sheffield versus Burnley was the final. It was a 5-goal thriller and the Blades won that, so I guess that fills me with a bit more confidence and hope that these failed Wonderkids could go on to form a decent cup run, as Newcastle United knocked them out 3-0 in the round 3 replay. Oh no, heartbreak. It's an absolute travesty in the Carabao Cup EFL Cup final, losing out 2-0 to Manchester City at Wembley. They've been there, they've done it before. It was always going to be a hard task, as they took down Wolves and Spurs in the semi-finals. Their first chance at silverware, and unfortunately they didn't bring back the trophy home. Unfortunate stuff, but maybe because Manchester City have already qualified for the European leagues, maybe we might be involved in the Europa League next season. I'm not quite sure. We were all well aware of Danny Welbeck's resurgence and being our best player last season, our top goal scorer this time around. It's his strike partner Federico Macheda. With 41 appearances, the Italian managed to find the back of the net 13 times with 5 assists. It is Oscar yet again in that second place finish. He loves the podium, being one of our best players in the team. The captain, 10 goals and 6 assists, 16 goal contributions, and Luciano Vietto. It's a pretty similar story, a copy top 3, as Luciano Vietto scored 9 goals and 4 assists. The Argentine proving his worth, just like Mario Götze. The German's career is not over yet. 36 appearances, 6 goals and 3 assists for the Cam. Welbeck has slumped down to only 6 goals, and our 32-year-old unable to recapture that Season 1 form. Charlie Musonda, surprisingly, the Belgian, with 2 goals and 2 assists. Oliver Torres with 2 goals and 1, as Bojan Krkic has 17 appearances with 6 goal contributions. In a season where Phil Jones scored, I think anything is possible. Scuffet has now taken over the #1 goalkeeping spot, as the Italian shotstopper has recorded 47 appearances with 9 clean sheets. Jack Butland, as a backup, scored 5 appearances with 1 clean sheet. With Season 3 over and done with, we transition into the 4th campaign with our eyes set on some silverware. This is now their last chance to be sent off on a high. It's all starting to heat up, and it's do or die in their 4th and final campaign. It was their moment now, their time to shine for Season 4. They couldn't muster up anything better than a 16th place finish, a relegation zone candidate with 32 points, just surviving the drop, as Norwich, Leeds United, and Watford get relegated to the Championship, and this has been nothing but a failure. Disappointment, frustration, the Saints haven't had the luck of the gods on their side. The failed Wonderkids not taking their second chance by the scruff of their neck in the last time they've been able to display their brilliance on the pitch in Season 4. We're switching over to the FA Cup, and alright, okay, this might be a chance for a revival, the moment to redeem themselves here in the FA Cup final up against Manchester United, the big dance here in 2024, as the failed Wonderkids have the opportunity to win the famous old trophy. In their road to the final, they took down Liverpool 3-2 on aggregate, 2 back-to-back 5-goal thrillers, as Manchester City bowed out in round 6. This has been a legendary move to the final, as the run continued. Leicester City 3-0. In round 4, they defeated Sunderland 2-1, and that has been a marvellous, magical run. In the Carabao Cup, were they able to do it 2 years in a row? Not to worry, as Manchester United, their FA Cup final opponents, scored 3-0 against Chelsea to win them the cup trophy, and in round 4 saw the failed Wonderkids eliminated 2-1 to Fulham. Before we take on United at Wembley, and our last chance to take a look at the squad, we'll just highlight some of the top performers, as it's Luciano Vietto, the South Americans, dominating with 16 goals and 11 assists, the first failed Wonderkid to hit both double figures in goals and assists. 27 goal contributions. Federico Macheda, 13 goals and 3 assists, and now 71 rated. The Italian aging like a fine wine. And Oscar, who's been an MVP for so long, the captain, season, 12 goals and 6 assists. Hopefully we see him raise a piece of silverware at the end of this video, as Marco Piazza off the bench, proven to be an impact sub, 8 goals and 2 assists. Mario Götze in the mix, of course, up in the charts like always. Musonda finished off with 2 goals, Emre Moore with a goal and an assist. Here is the moment. I'm looking forward to this one. Let's see if the underdog story, David vs Goliath, can come into fruition. Can they put all their past years behind them of hype and just glorified praise? This is the chance for a highlight in their careers. They haven't really achieved anything else besides being a hyped up youngster. So can a piece of silverware be captured by these lot? Here's the starting 11 going out to meet them. It's Emre Moore and Vieto, the strike duo. Oscar starts in the middle. Torres, Götze, Maya, Musonda the midfield. And it's the same old regular backline to face Manchester United. Let's bite the bullet and just quick sim this big dance at Wembley. 90 minutes. They gotta go out, and arguably, debatably, they would have revived their careers if they go and win the FA Cup. A true underdog story, a David vs Goliath moment, but it wasn't to be. A 4-0 demolition job by Manchester United. They brought back Lukaku, and he got a double, as well as Rashford and James on the score sheet. They stood no match. 41% possession, 3 shots, 3 chances, and United took the majority of their 7 shots and 7 chances, 59% possession. It was a clinical, trademark Red Devils display. It's not what you love to see, not a memorable FA Cup final to remember. And why are there no lights? Someone's forgotten to pay the electricity bill. The lights are just not showing for United being crowned the champions. You can see the trophy just barely, and then everything else is blacked out. But it's been a strange turn of events, a rather dark one. I'll leave you guys there, as the failed Wonderkids didn't manage to capture any pieces of silverware. That came close twice with an EFL Cup and FA Cup final. Below par performances from the lot of them, excluding the likes of Oscar, Vieto, Danny Welbeck, and Makeda at times. Nevertheless, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to comment what is your favorite failed Wonderkids from over the years. Who did I miss out in this team? Make sure to drop it a like, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications down below. As always, I've been BCHD. Those have been the failed Wonderkids, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.